Folks, I hope you're ready because we've got lots to discuss. Number one, we need to talk about what is going on with Mara, lovely Mara, a key Bitcoin miner that is going completely parabolic right now. She's on a complete tear. We need to discuss exactly why she is running, what the data suggests is next, and why you need to put July 27th on your radar for Mara if you're going to touch this, because a big event is going to happen that day and you need to know what it is. And then for the second part of this video, I want to compare Mara to its key competitors like Riot and HUD-8. I know there's some others, but these are some of the key competitors for Mara, and I want to break everything down from the amount of digital assets they hold on their balance sheets, to their net assets, to their adjusted EBITDA, and production capacity. And I want to explain which may be the best bang for your buck, which are going to perform the best over the coming weeks and months, and which may be the most risky. This will be a value-packed video, and if you appreciate videos like this, make sure to hit that ravishing like button and subscribe. That is the only thing we ask in return. It helps out the channel quite a lot because it signals to YouTube that, hey, there are some people that like this content. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and I hope that you had a great 4th of July with your friends and family. Okay, let's get right to work. Full context here. So, Mara, lovely Mara was a stock we've covered extensively in previous years, dating back to January 3rd, 2021, when it was trading at about $10 a share, and then rallied the next 10 months to $83, which was about an 8x. Then it sold off to 3, and now it's back and building off those lows. Now, Mara tends to be a great swing trade or position trade when riding the momentum in Bitcoin and the overall cryptocurrency market. However, it tends not to perform very well for people that attack it without a clear plan to lock in profits, cut losses quickly, or to get out when the trend breaks. Remember, the trend is your friend until the trend bends, and then the trend is no longer your friend. You can acknowledge that a stock, a crypto miner, is going to be a winner over the long term, while also acknowledging that during crypto winters, it's going to perform badly. Mara, lovely Mara, has always been a very dirty tease, and if you're falling for the teasing, you're not going to do well. You got to make sure that you understand that she's a teaser. That way you know how to handle her. Let's talk about what Mara actually is. So Mara, of course, is a crypto miner, specifically a Bitcoin miner. And there are several key reasons for why Bitcoin is going up, and you have to understand that to understand why Mara is going up. The first reason that Bitcoin is going up is because of institutional adoption. You have a number of major players on Wall Street like BlackRock filing for spot Bitcoin ETFs, and despite some back and forth, well, a lot of analysts are increasingly confident that the SEC will eventually greenlight it. And if the SEC approves a spot Bitcoin ETF, well, you can expect a lot more institutional adoption of Bitcoin and a lot more Bitcoin ETFs to come out in the coming months afterwards. In fact, a lot of people right now, a lot of institutions are applying for a Bitcoin ETF just because BlackRock did it, because they know, hey, BlackRock is one of the most well-connected, powerful organizations on the planet, and you could trust that they're not putting any effort or capital or time into projects that they don't think are going to get approved. Now, of course, it is worth mentioning that the SEC has denied about 30 plus applications for Bitcoin ETFs in the past. But because of this BlackRock situation and because of the fine-tuning process that BlackRock is going through right now with a number of other competitors, well, a lot of people are expecting this to ultimately go through, whenever that is. Secondly, you've also had a major SEC regulatory crackdown that is increasingly being seen as attacking altcoins and has resulted in capital flowing out of altcoins and into just the top cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin. It seems to most that regulators see Bitcoin as not a security, which means that it doesn't fall under their regulatory body. Thirdly, and maybe to a lesser extent, due to the dollar weakening, the cooling inflation data, the pausing or slowing down of rate hikes, well, you've seen a lot of fund managers in the US decide, hey, you know what, let's go ahead and start diversifying into alternative assets, of which Bitcoin is one of the leading. And all of this has supported a pretty aggressive price appreciation in Bitcoin, and thus has largely helped motivate Mara to the upside as well. Remember, folks, Mara's entire business model is based on Bitcoin, and where Bitcoin is trading has a huge impact on not just the profitability of the mining operations that produce Bitcoin, but also the valuation of the Bitcoin that Mara holds on its balance sheet, which right now is valued at about $380 million. But you see, it's more than just that. There's also an underlying market dynamic happening here behind the scenes. You see, the thing is that Mara is a growth stock in a very heavily bet against industry, which means what? Well, it means that Mara has been very heavily shorted. And yes, you've seen a lot of shorts rushing to close short positions since really the beginning of March, going from over 40% in short interest to now just around 20%. But the problem, though, is that 20% is still a lot of short interest for a stock like this. And the problem is that 20% that is still short here, well, the stock is running massively against them right now. And if they couldn't close out and they weren't motivated to close out at lower prices, which means buying back shares at lower prices, well, now if they buy back, it's a lot more expensive to close out of those positions, right? So all of a sudden you're in this situation where as the clock ticks and as Mara gets higher and higher and higher, well, this short pool of about 20% are getting more and more squeezed. And as they slowly get out of their positions, which you could see they're trying to do very, very slowly without really spiking the price, well, it's causing a lot more price appreciation and a lot more supporting for the stock. Any kind of dump that you get on Mara, even if Bitcoin, the underlying dumps, and that causes Mara to go down, well, what happens? Well, the shorts start using that as an opportunity to cover, which then causes what? A rush to find shares, which then all of a sudden, boop, Mara goes up more. The more Mara goes up, the more this will be the case, which could be quite beautiful. But let's talk about Mara's business model and progress. So Mara can benefit from this Bitcoin rally in two ways. Number one, of course, the price they can sell Bitcoin for, which is rising. And number two, the appreciation of the Bitcoin that is already on its balance sheet. You look at their numbers, they were about to bounce back into net income again in Q1 of 2023. And keep in mind that the price of Bitcoin is higher now than it was in the Q1 report. We'll see what happens in the Q2 report, which comes at the beginning of August. But this is what the CEO said back then. Quote, after weathering a tumultuous 2022 that tested the resilience of our entire industry, this year is off to a strong start as we grew our hash rate, reduced our cost to mine, and improved our balance sheet during the first quarter. So they increased their hash rate, which feeds into how much Bitcoin they can mine. They reduced their costs to mine, and they improved their balance sheet. And this was for Q1. Imagine what they've done in Q2 now that they've learned a lot more about how to operate in a bad Bitcoin environment. Well, now we're in a great Bitcoin environment. So what are they going to be reporting for Q2? Now, Mara does give little snapshots of what she's doing on a month-by-month basis, and you look at her reports for close 5/31/2023, well, you saw Bitcoin produced up 366% year over year, and they aren't even at their full operational capacity yet. They've bought a lot of mining equipment that hasn't been put into operation, which means that as it's put into operation, you can expect hash rate and the overall production capacity to go up. They report, quote, once all of Marathon's previously purchased miners are installed, approximately 66% of the company's hash rate is expected to be generated by S19 XPs, which are approximately 30% more energy efficient than the prior generation of mining rigs. So you have more production capacity coming and guess what? At a more energy efficient level, which means cost savings to produce Bitcoin. You look over at their holdings, they reported 12,259 in total BTC holdings at the report for May 31st. That was about a 23% increase year over year. But remember, of course, the price of Bitcoin varies quite a lot minute by minute. If Bitcoin is trading at a value of about 31,000, which it's trading at about right now, well, that's about $380 million worth of BTC holdings. If it's trading at January 1st prices, though, January 1st, 2023 prices, that's only about $196 million bucks. So it makes a big difference that not only their holdings have increased, but that the price of the underlying holdings is up almost 2x this year. Now, of course, though, it's not all berries and roses for Mara, and they have a big event coming on July 27th, which you need to be aware of. They will be voting then on several proposals, but the important one is Proposal 3. They are voting to increase their authorized shares of common stock from 200 million shares to 500 million. Now, this is not a fun event by any means, and perhaps shareholders end up voting no. But if you're someone who is trading this and trying to grab momentum, I'd argue you'd want to be out at worst a week before that happens. If they vote to more than double the authorized share count, that's going to be a disaster, and people know that, so they're trying to trade the momentum right now, and that should kill a lot of the pricing momentum around that week. On the flip side, they do have earnings coming on August 9th, and if Bitcoin continues to rally, you'd expect earnings to be a knockout. But unfortunately, again, I think that this is going to be a huge piece of anxiety over the minds of a lot of people who are trading this momentum right now and enjoying it. Now, Mara, lovely Mara, gets a lot of press because she's a dirty little tease, and people like following dirty little teases. But she also has some key competitors like your Riot and your Hut 8. A strong, warm shout out to at ZipCharlie on Twitter for posting this excellent graphic. He's a very handsome gentleman. I highly recommend following him. But here's the breakdown and the comparisons between these three companies. Your market cap on Mara is sitting at about $2.64 billion, Riot at $2.43 billion, and Hut at $1.07 billion. Now, fair warning, don't take the digital assets on balance sheet and cash on hand too literally, because the numbers are constantly changing based on price and different quarterly reports, and they're all reporting at different times, and they've all had different conversions, and at the same time, Hut's numbers had to be converted from Canadian to USD, which that conversion rate changes a lot based on when you're watching this. So don't take these numbers too literally. Just look at them as an idea of how much these companies are packing. And what you can see here is that Riot is the cash king and Mara is the digital asset king with the most holdings in digital assets, all Bitcoin really. And then you look at the Q1 report and these numbers are a lot more accurate because these are the literal numbers from the companies. Of course, the HUT ones are converted from Canadian, but still these are probably the more accurate, relevant numbers on here. Your net assets for Mara are at 569 million. Your net assets for Riot are at 1.092 billion. Your net assets for HUT are at 354 million. Market cap to net asset ratio, higher being more expensive, is 4.63 for Mara Lovely Mara, 2.22 for Riot, and then 3.02 for HUT. And adjusted EBITDA, the EBIT of the TA, Mara is leading at 18.6 million, 7.497 million for Riot, and then negative 2.784 million for HUT. And here's where you get into some of the production data. Mara's hash rate is far, far greater than its competition. Its actual production in Q1 was a little bit better than Riot's. However, if you look at their full deployment in Q2 to Q3, I bet it's going to be a lot better than Riot's. And then HUT's is in the lowest, but keep in mind that HUT has a bit more diversification in terms of business model than Mara and Riot do. Mara and Riot are mostly Bitcoin mining focused and Bitcoin holding focused. But in totality with Mara, you're paying the most relative to assets, but you also get the most firepower in terms of Bitcoin production. With Riot, you're getting a very, very healthy proof of concept and a very solid cash position, and honestly, a pretty damn solid track record as well. And with HUT, you're getting a little bit more diversification, a lot of digital assets on its sheet, but something that's not exactly leading as a crypto miner. Now, which do I think is best? Well, when the underlying Bitcoin is rallying, you're going to see some of the best performance in the one that is betting the most aggressively on Bitcoin, which in my opinion, based on the data, is Mara. Hands down, it's Mara. Mara has its balance sheet heavily weighted in Bitcoin digital assets at 380 million, and its production is the highest, and its production capacity projected moving forward is supposed to be much, much higher if you look at that hash rate and you look at all the other miners they're going to be deploying. So my guess is that in terms of Mara's business, it's going to be outperforming. I am a little bit worried about how this share vote happens at the end of the month, but if you're looking at the business model and you're looking at the bigger picture, I think Mara is going to be a bigger performer than Riot. However, if you're looking at something that's a much safer play that also has a very, very competitive amount of proof of concept and production capacity and is probably going to be a better all-weather, whether it's winter crypto or it's summer for crypto kind of company, well, Riot is hands down much better. Because Riot has a fair amount of cash on the sidelines that is not just stored away in Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin really takes a dive, well, all of a sudden they have a lot of money to really scale up. Whereas Mara, being completely centered in Bitcoin, doesn't have that luxury. In another massive crypto winter, they would have to sell a lot of depreciated crypto in order to raise capital. So in that sense, if you think that we're heading for another crypto winter in the next couple of months, Riot is going to be a much better bet. But if you think that we're heading up for the next couple of months, Mara. Keep in mind, though, that share authorization situation is a little bit freaky. But anyways, let us know which you think is the best. Did we miss one that you think is even better than these three? Well, let us know down below. We appreciate each and every single one of you. And again, if you found value in this video, make sure to hit that ravishing like button and subscribe so you can find us for the next video, which I think you're going to like even better. Anyways, have a great one, folks, and I'll see you in the next video.